Meantime, Caroline Glick is with us to talk more about the ongoing conflict. She's a senior contributing editor for the Jewish News Syndicate and host of the Caroline Glick Show. She is in Jerusalem. Caroline, welcome back to the program. Israel has been very clear since the beginning about its objective to root out and eliminate Hamas, whoever and wherever they are. Are you getting any indication that Israel and the IDF are behind this explosion in Beirut?
That's the general assumption here among Israelis, but Israel is very wisely not taking responsibility for it because by not doing so, we're giving Hezbollah an out, not to have a major escalation in the war. If you note the clip that your reporter showed of Daniel Hagari, the IDF spokesman from yesterday evening, he said that Israel remains focused on Hamas, and Salah Haruri was really sort of the grand master of Hamas's strategy. He's the one that transformed Hamas into an Iranian proxy, and also was the mastermind of the attacks, all of the terror attacks that were carried out in the West Bank over the past year that saw 35 Israelis murdered before October 7th. He was one of the architects of the October 7th invasion and slaughter. And he is a kingpin in Hamas. And so by saying we're focused on Hamas, what he was saying was, while it's true that he's in Beirut, we attacked him because he's Hamas. And then we saw Hassan Nasrallah and other Hezbollah people were saying that they would attack back in Israel, but that they weren't going to give Israel the prize of actually escalating the war, which is what Israel was really trying to do. So I think that what we're going to see here is some sort of a symbolic attack, because what Hezbollah is trying to do is wait, and they're planning on having a major escalation in their current war of attrition against Israel at a time and place of Iran's choosing, likely when Iran wants to announce that it has amassed sufficient quantities of uranium, not to build one bomb, but probably to build an arsenal of 10 or 20 warheads. So that can happen very soon. And so we don't know, but Nasrallah is making his decisions based on what is being told by the Iranians.
Yeah, a daunting thought, and the talk of retaliation, raising that level of concern. The IDF has, as you know, Caroline, reshuffled some of its troops. Some of the troops will be pulled out of Gaza. Is it your understanding they will now head to the north to address this new threat?
Well, we have a lot of soldiers in the north already. I think that it's not probably wise to read too much into what the IDF is doing in terms of the troop deployment in Gaza, because we remain very focused on our efforts right now across the Gaza Strip, but particularly the focus of battle is in the southern Gaza Strip and the Khan Yunis. So we'll have to see how that works out, but certainly Israel can't allow the status quo in South Lebanon to continue, because Hezbollah has the capacity to overrun the Galilee and to just annihilate Israeli communities there, which is why you've had over 100,000 Israelis being forced to leave their homes, their farms, their communities are abandoned, because until the Hezbollah threat in the north is diminished very, very significantly along the border, they're not going to be safe in their homes. So the expectation is, yes, we're going to have an active northern front, because there's simply no way for Israel to allow for the depopulation of its northern border area. And so the Hezbollah threat has to be degraded. And really, there's no diplomatic way to do that. So we all anticipate an expanded northern front at some point in the very near future.
Understood. Any update on the talks to free more hostages?
So, yeah, those talks were really sort of not moving forward. Hamas was making demands before al-Aruri was assassinated that were completely unrealistic. They're saying that they will release 40 hostages, but that would be in exchange for a 40-day ceasefire and the removal of IDF forces from Gaza. So that's not realistic. And it wasn't meant to be a realistic offer, because you also had many other voices in Hamas saying that there will be no deal until Israel has capitulated. So those talks that were going on informally and not leading very far were canceled by the Egyptians, by the Qataris, and by Hamas in the aftermath of al-Aruri's assassination yesterday in Beirut. And we'll just have to see how that goes. The assessment of the IDF is that the hostages are being held in subterranean tunnels around Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip, which is, again, the focus of the battles today on the ground. And we have a lot of special forces who are operating actually within the tunnels right now in Khan Yunis, and they're operating there to try to find hostages and of course to kill Hamas terrorists, including their leaders.
And they continue to uncover more of that network of tunnels. Caroline Glick, thank you as always for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it very much, Marnie. Have a great day.
Thank you. The war